Have you ever wished you could just know what someone is thinking? I mean, real mind reading is probably still science fiction, but what if I told you we can get surprisingly close? Today we are diving into the art of understanding people, and we're using the fantastic guide from James W. Williams, How to Read People Like a Book. And listen, this isn't about learning cheap party tricks, it's about forging real, genuine connections.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever been in a conversation and just felt completely lost? You know that feeling, right? Like you and the other person are on totally different planets, speaking different languages. You're trying so hard to connect, but something is just not clicking. It's incredibly frustrating, and honestly, we've all been there.
And this quote from the book, man, it just nails it perfectly. Think about it. That presentation that just fell flat, that weird dynamic you have with your boss, or that first date that felt like you were walking through a minefield, these are the moments where being able to read people isn't just a cool skill to have, it's everything. It's the key to figuring out what's really going on.
So, where does this huge disconnect come from? Well, the problem is actually pretty simple. What people say isn't always what they mean. There's often this giant gap between the words they use and what's actually going on inside their head.
And that's because, as the book points out, spoken words are really just the tip of the iceberg. The real conversation, the bulk of our communication, is happening completely non-verbally, in our posture, our facial expressions, our gestures. So if you really want to connect with someone, you have to learn to speak this silent language. All right, so where do we start? Let's begin with the most fundamental piece of the puzzle: personality. And according to the book, the most powerful place to start is with that classic distinction: are you dealing with an introvert or an extrovert? Okay, now this is huge because it busts a massive myth. Most of us think introverted means shy and extroverted means loud, right? Wrong. The book makes it super clear that the real difference comes down to just one thing: energy. Specifically, how a person recharges their social energy. And this right here shows you everything you need to know. Think of it like a social battery. For an introvert, being around people drains that battery, and they need alone time to plug in and recharge. For an extrovert, it is the complete opposite. Being alone is what drains them, and they recharge by being around people. Understanding this is like knowing their fundamental social operating system. It's a game changer.
Okay, with that foundation in place, let's get to the really fun stuff: decoding the specific, unspoken clues that people are giving off all the time.
First up, the eyes. Now this is a cool one because it's something nobody can control. Williams points out that when we're interested or excited, our pupils get bigger. It's a totally involuntary reaction. So next time you're talking to someone, watch their eyes. If their pupils dilate, that's a genuine sign that their brain is saying, yes, I like this. Tell me more.
Next, let's look at the hands. A clenched fist, it's not just a sign of being angry. The book describes it as an act of repression. That person is literally, physically holding back a powerful emotion. Maybe it's anger, maybe it's frustration. It's a major clue that there's some serious tension simmering just below the surface. And the mouth can be just as telling. You ever see someone pull their lips in so tight they almost disappear? According to the book, that's a person physically holding back words. They are biting their tongue, stopping themselves from saying what they really want to say. And that should make you wonder, what is it they're not telling you? And finally, the whole body tells a story. We've all seen this one, the classic Superman pose. Chest puffed out, hands on the hips. It's a universal sign of confidence and dominance. That person is subconsciously trying to take up more space, to look bigger, to project power and control over the situation. But hang on, a really important warning here. Reading people is not a superpower, and context is absolutely everything. A gesture can mean one thing in one culture and something totally different in another. Plus, your own mood can totally cloud your judgment. And most importantly, never ever rely on body language alone. You still have to listen to their words. This is a tool to supplement your listening, not replace it.
So now that we know what to look for and what pitfalls to avoid, let's go one level deeper. It's great to see what someone is doing, but to truly understand them, we have to figure out why they're doing it. What's their motivation?
The key, as the book puts it, is to figure out their end game. See, every action we take is driven by some kind of deeper need we're trying to fulfill. And the cool part is, there's a simple framework we can use to figure out what that need is.
And here it is, the famous Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Williams explains that pretty much everything we do is an attempt to satisfy one of these needs, starting from the bottom. So think about it.
That coworker who's always bragging about their achievements, they're not just being arrogant, they're probably trying to fulfill their need for esteem and recognition. Or that friend who's afraid to take a risk, they might be stuck on the safety level. Once you figure out which level someone is operating from, you get this incredible insight into why they do what they do.
So you put all this together. You understand their energy. You can decode their nonverbal cues, and you can grasp their deepest motives. What's the payoff? What's in it for you when you master this skill?
Well, the benefits are huge. We're talking about a total transformation. You'll build way deeper connections because people will feel like you actually get them. You'll be able to spot conflict brewing from a mile away and stop it before it blows up. You'll even learn how to manage your own signals to make a better impression. Ultimately, you just become a much more effective, empathetic, and successful communicator in every part of your life.
And that brings us to the final and maybe most important idea. Learning to read other people is an amazing skill, but the most powerful thing you can do is turn that lens around and point it at yourself. So what are you saying to the world every single day without ever speaking a single word?